Rob G, there is a team that went to the Super Bowl. Well, one of them is rolling at 8-2.
The Chiefs?
No, the Eagles. And the other one is struggling at 5-5. Who would that be, Rob G?
That would be the Kansas City Chieftains.
Did you see the way I didn't give it all the way away?
Struggling.
But it's fine.
Struggling.
Struggling.
Now, you mentioned that they lost. It was a tough game. Coming off a bye, which makes it even more inexcusable.
I thought that, what's his name? Andy Reid is unbelievable coming off a bye.
That's what they say.
That's what they said.
And apparently not. Patrick Mahomes threw a pick six, got overturned, and he's like, I'll throw another one later on in the drive. We'll make it right, so don't worry about it. It was one of those games for the Chiefs.
Pass.
But the big story, obviously the game is the game. We'll get to that later. The big story is what's up next for Kansas City. As of right now, NFL Next Gen Stats pegs them as having a 10% chance to win the division. They're 3.5 games back of Denver, plus Denver now has the tiebreaker, at least for now. More importantly, however, teams that start the season 5-5 historically only make the playoffs 9% of the time.
Wow.
And if that wasn't bad enough, if Kansas City were to make the postseason, and let's say they don't win the division, but hey, we can get in as a wild card. We got one extra team from a couple of years ago. We'll sneak in as a wild card. Above Kansas City, the 3 wild card teams right now, 7-3 Buffalo Bills, 7-4 LA Chargers, 6-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. All 3 of those teams, number 1, have beaten Kansas City, so they got tiebreakers there.
That's something.
Yeah.
Number 2, all 3 of those teams have considerably easier schedules moving forward, which means it is possible, if not likely, that at least one, if not all 3, will win 10 games. In that scenario, the Kansas City Chiefs would have to win 11 games just to make the postseason, which means winning 6 of the
last
final 7.
Yeah. I mean, they are between a rock and a hard place.
That game yesterday was huge.
All the way around. Yeah, that was a game they needed to have. And I'm not going to say I told you so or anything. The season's not over, but I told you so. Before the season started, I did say they wouldn't make the playoffs. I'm not surprised. I'm not. Also, you mentioned the Mahomes. He has 3 red zone interceptions that basically have helped him lose games.
Yesterday was terrible.
Philly has won the pick 6, Jacksonville, and then yesterday, which was a 10-point swing. You know what I mean? I mean, no, that's huge from a touchdown and then a field goal for them on the other end. In a game you lose by 3, it's a huge. But last year I talked about it. I don't know. I've seen different, Rob G. I've seen 10-0 in one-score games, 11-0 in one-score, and even ESPN just said 12-0. In one-score games. Am I right?
Varies. I don't know if people are including like postseason and not saying it or something, but it keeps varying.
Am I right?
ESPN had 12-0 and 0-5.
They had 12-0,
yeah.
right? And I'm looking at it going, we've been talking about 11-0. At least we have.
Yeah.
And then I ever saw somebody say 10-0. Well, the other thing too is, 0-5 in one-score game. That's what they used to be about. Mm-hmm. Don't let it be close, because guess what?
Right.
They'll beat you in the end. And when Kelsey got the touchdown, what happened? You thought,
here it is.
Look at the magic. Kelsey, at least for one game, he's back. And then, just didn't happen. And Bo Nix, we talked about it. Let me say, I said this to you before. Defense always gives you a shot at being in games. I don't care what anybody says. If you have you always have a shot, because that other team not going to get enough points to run away from you, Mm-hmm. And then Bo Nix, couple of big throws, that third down throw, right? Big catch and throw and catch. But this is what I'm saying. This doesn't feel the same. It feels, and I know we could talk about it, the end of a dynasty or whatever. I just think that it ain't the same team. I know you thought once he got the receivers back that they were going to be a juggernaut offensively, and they had a few games against some bad teams. Mm-hmm. But that offense isn't the same. Patrick Mahomes isn't the same. He hasn't been really the same for a while. And he had, I'll give you 3 or 4 games this year where he lit up the scoreboard, and you can look at the opponents. I think they beat the Lions and what other game? Only 2 teams. They're the same
the
way.
Lions.
There's only 2 teams that they beat.
Are you saying the whole
500.
season?
Yeah, they only got 5 wins.
They beat the Ravens, and
the Ravens are 5-5. Who else?
And then as far as those types of wins, because they beat the Commanders, they beat the Raiders, they beat you mentioned the Lions, and that's it. I mean, they lost to the Jags. They lost to the Eagles.
They haven't beaten any.
Lions and
the
Ravens,
Lions and the Ravens.
Yeah.
And the Ravens are 5-5, and I get it. They're
a better team
considered
than 5-5.
Right, but at that time they were bad when they beat them. And
defensively, they were trying to figure things out. They were struggling.
Right, they were struggling big time. But I don't know where you want to. I know you felt good like they're going to the Super Bowl,
and they had the run that I thought offensively, right? Because we've seen this season a lot of teams play down to other teams and not do stuff, and they were putting up big time points. I mean, prior to this game. They obviously lose to the Bills, but then they had 28 points, they had 31 points, they had 30 points, they had 28 points, so 37 points. So their offense had got back to what you kind of expected, and Patrick Mahomes was looking really good to the tune of Vegas, which obviously they alter that every other week or so. But he was a
MVP
candidate.
He ain't MVP anymore.
No.
That's gone.
That was a big game, and that was a game to me. To what we're saying, that they would typically win, and they would be
favorites.
The large.
They were favorites on the road.
Yeah.
Coming off the bye, and the idea that the Broncos had won 7 in a row. That's how much
people believed in Vegas, believed in him.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was right there, as you mentioned, but I have to give credit to Bo Nix. First off, we already know the Broncos defense is spectacular, and that's what
Super Bowl caliber.
Oh, absolutely.
Super Bowl
that has
caliber.
kept them in it. You look at the Eagles, didn't have great game offensively the last few, but the defense keeps them in it. The Bears, to an extent, have had a couple of times where the defense has kept you in. That's just a huge part of the game. It's 3 facets of the game: special teams, defense, offense. Bo Nix made the plays that you expect Patrick Mahomes to make. And so I give credit to him because he made that throw. Reminded me of that Eli Manning, Mario Manningham type. Like, that was a big-time throw he made on the edge there. Deep pass, got them in field goal range, and ultimately would kick the field goal and win the game. But the Chiefs, their ability to not finish games, and you don't have to be 11-0, 12-0, whatever it ended up being last season, but you can't be 0-5, right? You're 2-3, you're 3-2. You had a whole different outcome. Now you got some leeway. You cut yourself some slack if you lose a game or two. And so nobody's asking you to be 12-0 again. That's almost an impossibility, but you can't be this bad. You can't not finish games. Some of this is Patrick Mahomes. Some of this is the offensive, the schematics, if you will. But the defense has been solid enough to keep you in games. You have an opportunity to win with Patrick Mahomes, and they haven't. And they haven't beaten good teams.
That's the scary part. When you honestly look at it, you got to say, who are they beating?
And teams are the magic of the fear of playing them is no longer there. Now, if they get to the postseason, whatever happens, you never know. But simply just the fear of it is gone. Teams have had to play them now for 7-8 years, whatever it's been with Patrick Mahomes in his run. Teams ain't scared of them no more.
And I just gave you the 3 examples: Philly, Jacksonville,
and Bills,
and Denver,
and the Bills. Don't forget the Bills too.
Did he turn it over there?
Oh, not the turtle. I was saying that the real good teams that they
right. But I'm just saying in that one, Mahomes gave it up.
Yeah,
red zone interception.
Yep. And again, last night was terrible. Like he was right there, just throw it away, or the guy. I don't know if he didn't see him. It was right in front of him. Do it right to him. So they're in a unfamiliar territory. They're currently on the outside looking into the postseason, and this is going to be a gut check for them.
But this was supposed to be that moment right there.
It was.
Like, okay, we don't care what you've done, Broncos. We're the Chiefs. We've owned this division. You know what I mean? If they would have been able to come in there off the bye, beat them.
A big win against a good team.
Right, and their 7-game winning streak, and it did not happen. That's Vegas don't give away 3.5 points. For a team that's won 7 games, they looked at the
Broncos
and said, look how they struggle offensively.
Yeah, they are a weird team, man.
But that defense, and it's about making plays. I keep telling you all the time, it's not always about style points or piling up stats and numbers. It's just about winning, and that's what they did last night.
And I'll give them credit. It's unusual. It makes it weird because the Broncos are a Sean Payton team, and you expect it to be the opposite. Defense, cool, it's all right, but the offense, in this case, is the opposite. Their defense is spectacular. and they make just enough plays, whether it be through the run or obviously through Bo Nix. But if you look at the Chiefs' schedule, that Colts game is going to be tough. Whether they won last night or yesterday or not, that's a tough game, Colts. Maybe it's at home for the Chiefs, so maybe they feel it's winning. They're coming off a bye.
Right?
You know, they're feeling like, all right, this is a big game for us too.
And they need to reestablish themselves, the Colts, a little bit.
And the Cowboys, we'll see what happens tonight. But, you're going to have to beat them offensively. They're going to try to score some points. Texans are going to be ugly. That's going to be an ugly muck it up. It's going to be very similar to the Broncos to me. Like, both teams defensively playing good, a couple of turnovers. And then the Chargers. And then, okay, they'll beat the Titans. But then right back at the Broncos again.
But you know what's crazy? You said that? The Titans actually have don't they have a better record, or are they 5-5 too? The Titans, what are they?
No, the Titans are.
Who am I thinking of?
What's Tennessee Titans you talking about? You talking about remember the Titans?
I thought that. But they won. They've won games of late. What's their record now? I thought they were. Where are they?
You're thinking of the Texans, not the Titans.
Am I thinking of
the Texans? Are 5-5.
Okay, yeah. They're 5-5. Okay.
I'm like, remember? I thought he was talking about the Denzel Washington Titans. I'm like, what?
Titans 1-9.
They're 1-9.
Yeah, no, that I was
Texans. That's why I said that's going to be an ugly.
You know what?
That'll be a tough matchup between the Texans. Texans are one of them teams.
What's the Panthers' record? 5-5.
They've won. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of.
The Panthers have.
What are they?
Quietly,
they're 6-5.
Yeah, okay, all right. It was the Panthers I was thinking. I knew it was one of those teams.
One of those light blue teams.
One of those light blue, but I knew,
one of these bad teams, historically, bad teams. I tell you what.
You wanted to add something.
No, I just got some numbers for you guys.
Yeah.
So you've been this whole 14 minutes. I'm talking about the Chiefs, and the emphasis has been, hey, they're just not winning these games. They're not closing the game. This is supposed to be what they do historically, especially last season. The Athletic published the whole piece about it. Through the first 10 games this year versus last year, the Chiefs, averaging more points per game, giving up less points per game, have a wider point differential in a positive way. EPA is better offensively. Defensive EPA, better defensively. Turnover margin, they were -5 this time last year. They're +3 this time this year. The difference is one-score games, they were undefeated. They're 9-1. This year, they lose them all. They're 5-5.
So what would they be? They'd be what? 10-0 if they would have won those one-score games?
By every metric, they are better this year than they were last year.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. You see it clearly offensively they're better. That's not even they were very, very hard to watch last year.
But what plays are you giving up? And I just gave you 3, you know what I mean, that turned the games around. Right. There's 3 right there.
And that's what I would not have hung my hat on, would be mishaps from Patrick or just the team in general losing and making bad plays. Travis Kelce's fumbled or running into your teammate or just little plays that you'd be like, all right, a team might beat them. They're not going to go undefeated, but not shooting themselves in the foot. And they've become Cheddar Bob, shooting themselves in the leg lately, which is uncommon for this team. Now they're in a position where max 2 more games they can lose, max, and that might be pushing
maximum. And just to give the full context of what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs, historically, you get the ball 4 minutes, 5 minutes left in the game. Patrick Mahomes is going to do some game-winning field goal, game-winning touchdown, whatever. Yesterday, 4 minutes left, chance to lead a game-winning drive. They didn't gain a single yard.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
3 and out, punt, never got the ball back.
Yep.
Yeah. Now they put themselves in a position, Rob, again, they win that one, okay, we got a, nice little cushion. They're in a position where now max twice they lose. And it might, to your earlier point, Roger, it might be 6.
And you need the other teams to lose, which makes it even tougher.
What's the bigger call for me? That I said the Chiefs would make the playoffs or the Lions? Like, which is the biggest?
I still think the Lions. The Chiefs.
No. But I'm just saying, preseason, for me to go on a limb on 2 of teams that are perennial going to the playoffs the last few years is what I'm saying.
Probably
Which one's
the
bigger?
Chiefs, maybe?
Probably the Chiefs, because they've dominated the decade for like a decade.
That's who they are.
Yeah.
The Lions might go Lion, and you'd be like, all right, well, it's the Chiefs.
Okay.
And you could have said coming in like how you did, that division, the NFC North, is, if not the best division, it's one of the best divisions.
I don't like the Bears either, Rob G. They get on my nerves,
I don't like them either.
They're not that good, but they keep winning. That's what the teams. I meant to talk to Mike Jones. We didn't have time.
I love it. I'm loving it.
We know you love it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You McDonald's over here. You
That's
love it.
That's right.
Anyway, my point is teams that are like 8-2 and 9. The Eagles, the Broncos, the Bears, a handful of teams. I'm like, I just still don't buy them, but they're winning.